Hey, so what am I going to talk about today? Yeah, it's actually all about communicating with your potential leads. So, what can we do? We have, for instance, chatbots. We have possibility to go and use Facebook Messenger by communicating directly. We can use direct messages on Instagram, LinkedIn, all different kinds of platforms. We can even leave posts under or comments under posts of our potential leads and vice versa. The key thing is, how about even going and setting a system that can actually react if somebody posts a comment on our post? Why? Because it's engagement. So if somebody realistically is posting something underneath, then maybe we have something that they like, whether it's of value or it's maybe usable to any kind, then that's exactly where we have to think about what could we do out of it? What could we turn that into? So we have somebody communicating on our posts. How about getting into a conversation with that person? Maybe that person might become a lead for us, which is an ideal thing because we have in contact. It's not that we are trying to reach out to somebody. This person actually is already communicating with us to a certain degree. And we just need to increase it so that we have a full, proper conversation. And this conversation you can go and pull into a messenger conversation. And from there, we then actually, that's the crazy thing about that, you could really physically laugh about that, is that you can actually get leads for free on Facebook and these other places. But you have to put a little bit of work into it. It's not dramatically a lot, but it should be. And so as an example, let's say I create a chatbot, combine it with my personal profile, my fan page or whatever. But I would prefer doing it with a fan page or Facebook page, what they call it now. Then that makes it even easier to then go and get people to get into a conversation. And for instance, what I would suggest, so let's say if you're actually liking or you're enjoying what I'm providing as a content, and I think, wait a minute, that's actually, I could use that in my own business, then go and post under this video the link my.prmediareach.com. Post it underneath because that's a way where you can get with us as well into a conversation where we can have a free consultation call. But otherwise, of course, you can go and even put a post underneath and just put the word chat or, for instance, branding. Just try that out. And then you will notice that we are going to get into a conversation through our chatbot. And that is actually awesome because actually the chatbot goes and provides the first communication point with the potential lead. And then we can take it from there and say, hey, how about booking a call? Or wait a second, let me get someone to go and jump into this conversation and continue the conversation because this person might be able to ask or answer certain questions that you've got. And that's the great thing about using chatbots. But that's, of course, just one part of what we can do. Chatbots in a LinkedIn area isn't really existing yet, not at least in a usable way. But in future, there might be as well something like that. There are other kinds of bots that are already being used in LinkedIn to communicate, to find leads and all these things. And yes, you can use that. Free versions don't really do much. But if you take a paid version, that maybe costs $40 or $100, depending on different kinds of price models, then you can go and use that as well to go and find potential leads. And that's the thing. Finding potential leads means as well finding who could actually be a good fit. And that's the thing. Who can be a good fit for my business, for my services? And that I can actually base on their interaction, their engagement with my content. And that's why we're, for instance, here focusing on the topics, mostly marketing, sales. In a few cases, we've got as well mindset, because that's as well sometimes something that really gets in our way, especially if you're running ads. Your mindset or your mind itself tries to do some really funny things with us by actually telling us, switch off those ads, they're not working. Stop finding leads on LinkedIn, it's not working. Stop calling people, it's not working. Stop doing business, it's not working. All these crazy things come into our mind, and we have to be able to switch them off. But unfortunately, when you don't understand this, then your mindset goes and gets in your way. And that's what I see often with some people who then try to use ads to generate leads. Their mindset gets in the way, and they switch off the ad maybe after 3 days, maybe even 5 days. They don't even give Facebook and Google and so on enough time to actually find out who's really interested in their content. And then they search maybe on the wrong way. They write stuff that doesn't fit, or they violate advertising policies and so on, because they don't take the time to actually find out what can I really do and what's not accepted by the platform. Because it's not us who decide what's okay, it's the platform that sets the rules. And if we don't play by the rules, we get kicked out. Simple and easy. The first step usually is disapproving of ads. The second one, slowing down of ads. And the third, eventually, and it's the not really nice one, is getting your ads account disabled or even completely shut down. And then that's really a horrible situation, because you have to completely start from scratch, create a new Facebook account, create new Facebook ads accounts, and so on and so on. And that's something you just don't want to go through. And if that happens several times, well, that's really super annoying, because each time you lose all your audience data for which you paid before. So you should be careful that you keep your ads accounts clean. Follow the rules and really scrutinize what you are trying to advertise for, and see that you have to have the ads in a way that Facebook isn't going to be unhappy, because they are the first ones we have to really satisfy. And then it is much, much easier to go and find an ad audience that is going to engage with our ads. For instance, I was just looking at some of our ads that we're doing for clients. Ads have been just running a few days. We created new versions of text, changed photos and so on. And thereby we cut the cost per engagement, for instance, by over 4, 5, 6 cents. We increased the quality, the average or even above average quality of engagement. And that's the great thing. So we are even getting people to share these ads, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. And that's why, if you think actually that this live now is really helpful for yourself, and you might think, well, some friends of mine might benefit as well, please go and share this this video post, this live video post, and I hope they'll benefit from it as well. And if you have just logged into this live, then you can, of course, as well, when you notice that you actually really want to know more, and you're thinking maybe they can help me as well with my ads, and maybe they're not really working, well, I'm a bit having some issues, I don't really quite get it, why Facebook is creating problems. How can I actually even reduce my ad spend, but increase as well the quality of my results? Because it's not just reducing the cost of an ad, it's increasing the engagement and increasing the efficiency, the return on investment that you're getting from your investment. And therefore, if you think that's helpful and you want us to help, then you can go and visit the my.prmediareach.com. I think that should be somewhere visible below. I can't see it here. But you can go on that website and then you can book there as well a free consultation call. But let's go back to where we were. So when I'm using chatbots, for instance, in order to increase the communication with the client, I can preset as well the workflows. So if somebody goes and posts chat, for instance, under one of my posts or anything like that, then the chatbot will trigger and will know it has to go through a certain flow. Certain texts come, picture, maybe we ask some questions, maybe we show him a video, an audio, all sorts of things can happen. And that's a great thing, that you can actually set different kinds of triggers, different kinds of rules and workflows and that actually then process depending on what's happening on our website. So if you really think that's ideal and that's something that you really want, then we can go and help you as well there. Nevertheless, when you look at it and you're thinking, okay, how can I use a chatbot really for myself, for my business? You have to first think, okay, what do I actually want to achieve? Do I want consultation calls? Do I want maybe people just to phone my number, my office number? That'd be as well totally enough. If your clients are really wanting just usually to go and call you and ask you something on the phone and they say, okay, that's perfect, I'll come by, I'll deliver my whatever you do, then that's fine. Of course, it could be maybe you want them first to view a video and educate themselves first about your product, your services, anything. So they notice, okay, that's really what I need or I don't need. Is that at least something where I qualify? Because maybe you are selling a product, a business solution or something, and you notice, okay, I need to have companies that have like 250 employees. And if in the video you highlight all the different key things and the lead things, okay, I just have 50 employees. That thing is far too big. Then it makes no point having a conversation because the lead will just not fit to your absolutely necessary client avatar. And then you actually notice, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't fit, that doesn't make any sense. So you can even use the chatbot as a filter to help you not waste your time and your leads' time, because maybe you are from the beginning not a good fit for each other. And that is what you can do in order to reduce the workload as well on your marketing and sales teams. Because if you're making calls to somebody who just can't buy because either they don't have the financial necessary budget, they don't have the manpower, they don't maybe have the facility or whatever you need as a requirement. Let's say you are selling, for instance, emergency power units, and you need a huge, big room where you can put these big engines in it. And if the lead doesn't have that and just has a little office, well, that's not the right fit. He needs to use a different system, like an APC or any kind of other smaller products that maybe fit in a little suitcase. And that's the ideal size maybe for that client. So that's the thing that you can filter out with even using chatbots. And you can ask questions, you can send the videos through, you can qualify the people and improve actually what's possible. And that's the nice thing about it, that you can really qualify the people already beforehand. That makes it super easy, and you don't have so much work with it, because configuring the chatbots, it's easy, especially when you're a small company. Most of the chatbots that exist on the market, they're simple and easy. Once you are a corporate organization, then you take these corporate chatbots that can do much more, and they tag on your database and on your business warehouse and all different kind of platforms, SAP and so on and so on. And then they start communicating and actually helping your sales or customer agents, which means, let's say you have a contact center with maybe 50 employees who are taking in calls from all different countries and different products and so on. That's a massive amount of people you need, in contrast to a small company that maybe has 5 or 10 salespeople, maybe, and maybe 3 customer service people, and that's enough for their size, the client size. And even if they double the revenue, they might not need to double the workforce. But the chatbot can still help to reduce the workload and filter out what just doesn't fit. Because that's the great thing. We can ask questions. We can even ask the lead even whether it is an urgent thing, when they want to invest, what size, do you have an office, do you have a factory building, do you have this and that. That makes it easier. Or for instance, you're a real estate agent, and the chatbot goes and asks the lead, are you selling a house, are you selling a flat, when do you want to put it on the market? All these different questions you can even put and use the chatbot to pre-configure, pre-qualify, and even tag. As an example, I can go and ask a question, do you have a business or don't you have a business? So there's 2 different answers, and I can accordingly tag the lead and send them to a different kind of message flow, where then, for instance, the guy who has a company, I go and ask, how much revenue do you do? Do you do less than 500,000? More than 500,000? Are you above the million maybe? And yeah, I can ask, how many people are you? Are you just less than 5, less than 50, or more than 50, more than 5,000? And all these kind of questions I can ask. I can ask, for instance, how many salespeople do you have? How many customer service people do you have? Or who's your marketing contact? Who's responsible? What's your ads budget? And so on and so on. And I can ask all these different things. And it's great, because I can always go and update it if I notice, well, that question doesn't make any sense, but I want to add another question, or maybe add an extra filter or extra rule, because I might say, in which country are you? Where are you based? Europe, North America, Africa, Asia, and so on. And you can do all these things in there. And that makes it really super easy, because then you have the ability to go and see what's happening. You can even jump into the chat and then continue the conversation and take over from the chatbot. All those things you can actually do. And yeah, and when we look at it, even if you are not actively looking for leads in Facebook, and you say, I'm B2B, I'm totally focused on LinkedIn, then even there you can use the chatbot, because maybe you can even drive them into a chat, for instance, with WhatsApp or WeChat. All different kinds of possibilities exist. And that's where you can even use even a LinkedIn bot in order to react to a message from somebody. So even there are the possibilities to use bots in order to reduce your workflow or workload better, and that makes it much, much easier to do. So if you think that's really helpful, what I've been telling you about, and you think, well, how do I get that for my own business done? it's not really that complicated, but it becomes more complicated the more we want to have a chatbot do for us. The more the different rule sets exist, the different keywords, the different actions and things, then it becomes really a little bit more than just an afternoon little 2-hour task. And that's the thing. You have to then decide, okay, I have to plan what the chatbot is doing, what maybe the different keywords are, what are they in relation, what kind of communication, conversation do I want to do? Do I want to send them to somewhere, and all these things? And if you're really thinking, well, I could do that, but do I really have the time? Not really. And that's where we can actively help you. We can sketch, design the whole workflow, and then set it up for you. And even if you say, yeah, fine, I've got using, but maintaining it, I don't know, I don't have the time, and then I have to learn the tool, how to use it. And maybe you say, yeah, I've got stuff, but they've already got enough with Instagram and LinkedIn, but I need the Facebook chatbot, and I need this and that. But one extra thing, no, I don't manage. I want to have it, and I need it for my business, but I just don't have the manpower. Then you can go and visit our page, my.prmediareach.com. So on this landing page, you can go and book an appointment. It's my.prmediareach.com. And there you can go and select a time that you would like to have a conversation with us. Select a time that's fitting as well into your calendar. Book it. The system will set up a Zoom call for the date that and time you've selected. And it'll send you as well an email with all the phone numbers where you call in, because you can log in with your computer, with your smartphone, tablet, whether it's a Mac or Windows, doesn't matter. Even I think even for Linux and Unix and so on, it's available as well, different apps. But the key thing is you have to show up. And the phone numbers to call in are extra if, let's say, you have a bad reception, or you don't have a microphone on your computer or your notebook or whatever. They can call in with your phone. And so the system will send you a list of phone numbers for all different countries where you can dial in. It's really, really convenient, especially when you have, for instance, a partner who has to join in as well. But he's traveling and he hasn't got internet access, but he'll call in using his smartphone. And that makes it really nice and easy and convenient. And there we can then actually discuss what are your core objectives, your goals, your targets, what's the challenge, what have you done in the past, what's worked, what's not worked. And then we can actually go and figure out first, what can we increase even more to be more successful? And then based on that, start thinking, okay, what would be the next maybe 2 or 3 action steps? Where do we want to focus? And prioritize them and say, okay, this thing first, for that we need this and this and this. Do we have it? Do we not have it? How much time do we need to get it done? Can it be done internally or externally? And that's all the different things that we then figure out. We see, okay, what's maybe the monthly budget that one needs for that, and we can help them. And that's the thing. Many things don't really cost that much in the end, but it's a key thing. It has to be maintained. And that's the thing. You cannot fully automate even content. That's the thing. Sometimes people go and automate the generation of content on Facebook and on the website, the blogs, and so on and so on. That works to a certain degree. Artificial intelligence is a great platform, but even that has its limitations. And yeah, if the content is automated, then we definitely have a problem when it's 100% automated, because eventually its semantics are not perfect. There are some tools, like for instance AX Semantics, that we've been testing, that can perform very well. Nevertheless, you have to focus, what do you really want to achieve with that? Which is the right tool? And yeah, that makes it, of course, from a marketing perspective, more and more complex. But if we focus on doing it the right way and not being scattered everywhere, things become much, much easier than we actually perceive it to be. And that's why we should always be easily reached for our potential leads. And that means having on your website, your blog, your podcast, and so on, having your email address, having your website, having even your phone number. Yeah, if I want to buy something from you urgently, I'm not going to wait until sometime your email is going to reach and sometime it'll be answered. I want to just give you a call and ask you, hey, is this something you can do? When could you deliver it? It is easy on a phone to reach a appointment or delivery time than if you have to send 5 emails back and forth until you've decided something. So take that into consideration. The easier we let leads communicate with us, the easier it becomes as well to close them, to build a relationship. And that's the thing. Too often, websites are overloaded, there's no contact form, no contact details, no email, no telephone, not even an address. I don't even know if this is genuine. And that's the thing. If a company website doesn't have an address, I don't even know if it's a genuine business. It could be a scam. It could be anything out there just waiting to trick me. And I don't want that. So you have to look into the mind of the potential buyer and think, okay, where are we confusing him? Where maybe are creating insecurity? And how do we tackle that? And sometimes it's just a simple thing like adding a phone number onto the website, onto the landing page, and so on. So there's different ways. I hope this was informative and helpful, that you use that as well to think over how you're going to use today's social media and other internet platforms to increase your lead generation, get more revenue, and build customers that create recurring revenue for you because they buy every month, every quarter, or every year, depending on what they buy and what kind of business you're in. So have a great time and see you soon.